This is episode 240 of the Illustrious Gentleman podcast. That's Scott in his Arsenal supporters beanie. I'm Ryan, and this is the Illustrious Gentleman. Go to patreon.com/super75studios, and you get to watch unedited live versions. So if you're a patron, you had 18 minutes of what just happened.
Beautiful.
You could watch all of it. You could watch me being racist.
Worth every penny.
Racist me showed up before I started editing this podcast.
It's certainly classist. I don't know about racist.
I'm not racist. Yes, I am classist. That's for sure. Classy fellow like me. You can also go to tigshow.com, get all your info there. And at tigshow.com/merch, you can get shirts. Someone bought 2 shirts this week. I don't know who they were. Bless their hearts. And I mean that in a good way, not in the shitty Southern way. tigshow.com/merch.
Well, I never.
Shirts, coasters, and stickers. Follow us on socials on Twitter and Instagram at TIG_show. I saw you drinking something, but it could be a Pepsi.
It is a Pepsi.
Okay. All right. Scott's a teetotaler now. That's okay. I'll drink for 2.
I'm just still excited about the Super Bowl halftime show.
All right. Yeah, why wouldn't you be? I am drinking a Walter Station. They're a local brewer. Walter Station, not anything that needs to be addressed on the podcast and not anything that's super serious or anything like that. But mental health and health in general has been on my mind lately. Obviously, I ate a fried chicken sandwich and a pitcher of beer for lunch, and I've been slamming Miller Lite since I got home, so health is top of mind. But I did end up getting this beer. It's from Walter Station Brewing called Just Be Nice, and it's a suicide prevention beer. So they donate a part to mental health services and suicide prevention. There's a little code on the side. I don't know how much they donate to it. There's a little code here. You can text to it, Brew for Hope. You know, sometimes I text Brew for Hope for like better IPAs, but I think this is for mental health services. But yeah, I like it. It's also got a cool can design. If you're just doing, this is a throwaway design for like a beer that is just a charity beer. And they did a really good job on the design. It's got the suicide prevention hotline number on the front. It is a 5.2% American Amber Ale. And I am all about just be nice. Don't be a dick. That's my religion. Yeah, I don't always adhere to it, much like priests of other religions, but I do my best. And Donald,
right?
Yeah, I'm trying.
Sometimes
Donald H.
Sometimes you fiddle around with the choir boys of negativity.
That's right. Yeah. Hey, don't tell your dad, but I hate everything today. Donald H. on Untapped says, it's malty with a smooth, sweet mouthfeel. So he's right in our wheelhouse.
Yeah, the Catholic priest jokes are writing themselves.
Upstairs neighbors are home, so you're going to hear a bunch of elephants running around here in a second because I can't get quiet to save my fucking life. Maybe I should call 1-800-273-TALK because I can't get any peace in this world.
Well, that's what beer is for.
That's right. It's okay. Good. Now I feel better about myself. TikTok, I got nothing. I actually have in my notes nothing. And then I have Olympics ? And then I have problem with money and human rights is my next note after Olympics.
Sure.
So are you like me? Like
I'm on board with all of those things.
Yeah, so I grew up loving the Olympics. Like I love certain things. I don't watch everything.
I never watched the Olympics.
But I grew up loving watching the Olympics, and as I get older, it's becoming more and more difficult to watch the Olympics because it's all just it's like collegiate sports. There's a ton of money there, but none of it is going to these athletes. It's all just corruption, and it's currently in China, which is human rights wasteland. The World Cup this year is in Qatar, which is a human rights wasteland. Like, how do I enjoy what I want to enjoy when other people are suffering because of it? Scott, tell me.
Well, as a true red-blooded American, I couldn't give a shit about the rest of the world or any sport that's not football.
Yeah, I saw your flag you posted on social media today. I saw the flag.
So I don't know. I got no answers for you. I am not an Olympics fan.
Okay, so
I don't get it. I mean, it feels like a thing that should be kind of in my wheelhouse. I like things that make me feel like part of a larger world. It is a global thing, you know. It touches
like
every corner of the planet. But what are you coming at me with?
Yeah, I don't know. Like
curling, snowboarding, man, get out of here.
Curling, neither American team won. Shit the bed. Olympics, hockey, both teams shit the bed. I mean, the women got the silver, but when you're in a 2-team race, second place doesn't matter, right? Like no one else was going to get the silver except for USA or Canada.
I mean, if it's something I'm not going to know anything about, it needs to be at least entertaining to watch, and I don't find any of these things compelling at all.
Have you watched? Have you heard the good word about the skeleton?
I'm sorry?
The skeleton. It's a one-man sled or woman. It's a one-person event where they go face first down on a sled at like 70 miles an hour.
Okay.
That's a sport you should watch.
Do people get fucked up?
You can get fucked up, but there's not like it's not. They don't normally die and shit. I don't think so. If that's what you're looking for,
so it's not going to appeal to me, red-blooded American fan, who only watches NASCAR to see people die.
No, you only watch NASCAR because you're afraid of right-hand turns. Like they terrify you, so you watch NASCAR.
Man, lefts are. That's where the danger is, and that's all they do, man.
Yeah, except it's they're taking lefts on a one-way street, so it's not that dangerous. Like, I wonder if the guy in front of me is going to cut me off. He's not going to cut me off because we're going the same direction for the next 500 miles. All right, so I got nothing for TikTok. I don't know if you wanted to bring something up at this point of the show.
No, TikTok is not. We don't do Rex now, right? That's at the end now.
Yeah, but I mean, basically, this whole show is going to be a show of Rex. So if you wanted to Rex something,
started Euphoria on HBO. That is not a bingeable show. It is a lot.
I think I watched. I was in a hotel last year in Yuma, Arizona, and we were watching UFC. And I started to hear the dulcet sounds of snoring next to my ear, which meant my wife was out. So I was like, I'm not ready for bed, so let me see what else is on. And I caught the tail end of one episode of Euphoria, and I think I had the same thought, like, I think this is supposed to be sexy, but they're children, but I'm uncomfortable, and that's my wheelhouse. Like, being uncomfortable is where I live. So I'm like, I don't know what to do with this. So I just turned it off and sat awake in the dark for like 20 minutes.
No, it's definitely not supposed to be sexy.
Okay. Well, I mean, when I say sexy, I mean alluring in any way. I don't mean like Kelly LeBrock sexy. I just mean, is it supposed to make me feel something?
Sexy.
Oh, Jesus Christ, you're a baby.
It is well done. It's super well acted. It's. I appreciate it, but goddamn, is it intense emotionally, and it's not. I don't know. It's not a feel-good show. A lot of shows aren't, but that's sort of the same problem I had with shit like ER, where I don't care how well it's done, especially, but because it's just such a fucking bummer all the time.
Yeah, I think maybe from what I know about Euphoria, there's a lot of teenage drug use, and yes. I have one final teenage son that I'm trying to fucking make it, right? Like to make it. So I don't know if I want to watch that and just be like,
all it does is make me scared to death of what's coming.
Yeah, especially in the fucking Gilbert School District, GUS Gussid. I mean, shit's crazy up in Gussid.
Ugh.
I'm sorry, I gave out to a listener where
straight out of the town of Higley.
Yeah. North of Chandler. NOC, baby. We are NOC. We're EOM. You're EOM and NOC.
That's right. This is
Yeah,
this township is gangsta.
that's right. Yeah. Yeah, we'll come back to that. Maybe I'll watch it. I'll watch it and feel even worse. That I don't want to watch things that make me feel even worse. That's why we're doing a posy-sode today.
Yeah. That means a positive episode. I don't know if that's clear.
All right. Should we get into it then? Do you have more notes for your TikTok?
No, I have no notes for it.
No notes for the whole program. Okay. So this is pretty interesting. I this morning my studio mate Jay Gonzo asked, "What you guys talking about today?" And so I told him, and I said, kind of like comfort food films. And he said, movies you'll watch when they come on, or comfort food films, because that's not even the same thing. Like in my mind, I was like, if I scroll across it, I'm watching it no matter what. That makes the list. But sometimes I'll watch a movie that makes the list I'll watch it whenever it comes on, but it's not something I would consider comforting either. Mm-hmm. So I guess I went with more comfort food films, something that I can just put on and I'll always have a good time. Shut your brain off. It is the 3 beers in of movies is kind of how I made my list.
I follow the same parameter.
Okay, and I'm sure it's way too short. I actually had a hard time thinking of a list of movies because movies that I think are really well-made movies aren't necessarily movies that I put on to have a good time. Like my favorite movie of all time, my 2 of my favorite movies of all time are True Romance and The Professional, and I can't just always watch those movies. Like I got to be in the mood to watch those movies. So these are movies.
That's one of the qualifications I had was something that I think is well done because I find enjoyment and excitement in that.
Oh, I don't think
obviously if you've listened to any fucking episode of this show, you will know that I do not enjoy things that I do not feel are well done.
Yeah, like steaks. Yeah, I chose the same thing. Like I think all the movies I chose, I think have something in them that I can attach to and be like, I could apply this to what I do, or I could apply that's a great written scene. It's well written. It's well, as a comic book artist, you have to. You have to be a cinematographer. They always say you got to be a cinematographer, writer, director, blah blah blah. So I think every movie I chose could fall in. I could pick something from that category to apply to my own work. But most of all, it's got to be fun, and I think I chose movies that I think are fun.
All right,
but I didn't.
It doesn't have to be fun. I don't think
all of my movies are fun movies.
Okay.
I don't want to put on a movie at any point that makes me feel sad. Like, I don't know about you, like, but sometimes when I'm trying, when my wife and I are sitting on the couch and we're like, what do you want to watch tonight or whatever, I will have to put in my, like, am I in the mood to watch something that makes me have to work and think hard and be in the mood to watch it? And these movies I'm always in the mood to watch, and I don't have to expend any of my limited energy. I'm like Al Simmons. I got limited energy for the rest of my life. I can't expend it all the time on watching difficult movies.
That's why he doesn't exercise, because he believes the body has a finite amount of energy.
Wow, I didn't think we were going to go there today, but yeah. So okay, I guess we can get into it. I didn't know if you want to go by category. My movies are
those two. I'm pairing them now.
Great. I can't exercise anymore.
So now I'm seeing the clock, the gauge next to Trump every time I see him now.
Yeah, he's just like Spawn. Yeah, so I don't know if how you wanted to do this. I have only 2 categories of films, so we can just go by it doesn't have to be in categories.
No, I didn't break them down into categories.
All right. My first note is basically any 80s action movie.
Okay. Like
Predator, fucking Commando, Bloodsport. Maybe the first 2 Steven Seagal movies.
I don't know what those are.
Fucking, there's one where he's in a coma.
Does he fight while he's in a coma?
No, he fights when he gets out of a coma. There's Under Siege with that blonde
Under
girl who's
Siege.
on
Under Siege
Baywatch.
was 90s, wasn't it?
Erica Laniak,
so.
was it? Well,
I
whatever.
think so. I remember seeing that in theaters.
It fit the mold, but like Cobra, Tango and Cash,
Sure.
all these garbage 80, not garbage, like
Rambo's.
Not the first one's a little too grainy.
Yeah.
First one's a real movie. Rambo 2, I'm on board for that shit. So just like a big beef, just like I like my comics, big beefy dudes fucking shit up. I'm into that.
Yeah.
Yeah. What's your go-to genre? Before we get into movies, then what's your go-to genre?
Okay, I'm gonna look at my list. I see a pretty even split of action, adventure, and comedies.
Yes, mine as well. You don't have a lot of period dramas in your list then.
Ooh. No period dramas. I have a period comedy.
Oh, is it Your Highness with Natalie Portman and
Spoilers.
Isn't that what it's called? Her and Ricky Bobby? Or in the movie called Your Highness?
Ricky Bobby?
Not Ricky Bobby.
No. You can do it.
God damn it.
Baseball.
Eastbound and Down.
Yeah.
Righteous Gemstones. What's his name? I don't know his name.
Yeah, Danny McBride.
Danny McBride, yes.
Yeah.
Natalie, I think that's Natalie Portman, possibly after she won an Oscar, might have been in Your Highness. Could have been before. I don't know.
I hear tell it's one of the worst movies ever made.
Yeah.
It's that and Plan 9 from Outer Space, I think.
Yeah, they're tied. Okay, what's first on your list, then let's get into it.
The first film I wrote down was a film we've watched on this show.
Cinema.
That's right. The first moving picture I have listed is Scott Pilgrim. It will never, ever, ever, ever fail to bring a smile to my face, no matter what's going on.
Do you think that's out of the list of your movies you have on your list? That doesn't make sense. Is it the movie? Is it the movie you've seen the most?
List.
Maybe since it's been released. Is it the movie you've watched the most since it's been released on your list?
No.
Okay.
Wow.
Last
no,
Jedi's
I don't think so.
Up.
Yeah.
Wait until listener gets a load of Last Jedi.
I don't know. No, it's not a movie I put on a lot either because it's not currently streaming on anything, and I don't own it. So when I do watch it, it feels like a special treat.
Yeah, after we watch it on the show, after we watch it for this podcast, I found myself watching the music videos from it on YouTube, like incessantly for weeks. Specifically, the Clash of Demon Head YouTube videos. It does something for me.
Yeah, all of it. There's no part of it that drags or that I think is worse than any other part.
Would it be your favorite Simon Pegg movie, or does something else show up on your list?
Well, it's not a Simon Pegg movie.
Oh,
it's an Edgar Wright movie.
Oh, they're interchangeable.
Yeah, I think it is. Because I would place. That's probably the only Edgar Wright movie I would place on my list of my favorite movies. I don't think the rest of them compete with the rest of that particular list. But goddamn, do I love that movie.
What's not to love about it?
Once you were gone, now you will be gone.
Okay, so without trying to, and I can edit this, it's minute 38 as we record this. Have you ever read the comics? Do you have any desire?
I was just going to say, I know I'm a comic book guy, but I feel the same way about this as I do about Harry Potter. I'm sure Brian Lee O'Malley is a lovely person. I respect all the work that he put into it, but I can say for near 100% certainty, it's never a thing I'm going to make time for in my life. I don't need it. This thing I have is already perfection. You know.
Yeah, and if
I don't need another version of it.
If you're Mr. O'Malley, you probably made more money off the movie anyway, so he's probably okay with that. He won't throw down a glove and challenge you to a duel if you ever meet him. But I don't know. Maybe he will.
Yeah, I don't know. But yes, that was the first thing on my list.
Okay. Yeah, so I had a difficult time making my list. Like I said, just because I have no recall. I was talking to my wife the other day. Like, it's not that, like, I used to joke that, like, I don't remember inconsequential things because I maxed out on memory in my tiny little brain. But, like, I also realized, like, I don't have specific memories from when my kids were children. Like, I have vague memories. I kind of remember when they were this age, but I can't recall a specific memory.
I can't either.
I just think my memory is just total shit. Most of my list is movies within the last, let's say, 15, 20 years, just because I'm a piece of shit. But first of all is the best movie in a franchise that has wild swing and misses, like terrible to great. And I'm going with Fast 5 Rio, baby. If you only watch one Fast movie in your life, it's got to be Fast 5. It's the epitome. It is the Mount St. Helens. It is the K2 of the Fast franchise. It bridged that gap between when they were just street racer hoodlums. Now they're superhero super spies. This movie, they were just super badass thieves. It also introduces The Rock, super swollen with baby oil all over him, as Hobbs. I think it also maybe introduced Gal Gadot into the franchise. I didn't watch Tokyo Drift or Too Fast, Too Furious, so I don't know if she showed up.
You haven't seen Too Fast, Too Furious?
I have not. But insane stunt driving, a great heist movie, maybe the best. Not only that, the reveal in the third act, the third act itself, they are just dragging a bank vault through the city of Rio, just leveling shit, towing it behind two souped up Dodge Chargers. Some asshole out there is like, oh, they're Camaros. Fuck you, whatever. Two souped up cars, they're dragging a bank vault behind it. And then it has a fucking whodunit reveal at one point that if you've never seen it, you'll be like, holy fuck. Like, I thought this movie was this, and then they did this twist.
Oh my God.
Like, it's a whole thing going on. And some of it's Gal Gadot in a bikini. Some of it is The Rock just putting people through walls. We all know how much I love when a strong guy choke slams another man through a wall. Oh, he's choke slamming people. Fucking Paul Walker, rest in peace. He's trying to do jujitsu on like Vin Diesel, and Vin Diesel's like, fuck your jujitsu. I'm roided up. But then he thinks he's roided up. But then Hobbs walks in the room and like, bitch, you ain't got nothing on Hobbs. Dom. Fast 5. I mean, I remember going to see this. And when you saw it in the movie theater, it was Fast 5 Rio. In later years, they've kind of dropped the Rio just to kind of leave it as the Fast 5. But I mean, I remember seeing it in the movie theater by myself in Flagstaff and just being like, holy shit, like a child who can't sit still in their seat. That was me in the last third of that movie, dude. It is so fucking good. Fast 5 is so good. So fucking good. Great cars, hot women, buff ass, oily ass dudes. Yes, that is my shit. If you ever want to know what's that guy all about, like if I'm walking down the street and two beautiful supermodels are on the other side of the road, and they're like, see that
I wonder
guy
what makes that guy tick.
See that guy with the shirt that's a little size too small and his belly is way too big for his body? See that guy over there? Yeah, whose face got so fat that his mouth and his eyebrows disappeared. You see that motherfucker over there? What's he all about?
Wonder what that sweaty ginger's into.
Then there'll be a fairy that floats by their ear and it'll just be like, Fast 5 Rio. And then they'll be like, I get it. Because I'm complex, just like Fast 5.
Whoa.
Yeah.
You're selling me. I never got past 2.
Oh fuck, man! That's your problem, dude. You got to go 1, 4, 5, and then stop. Maybe 6 if you want to see Gina Carano. Go 6, but I don't know where your tax dollars go. All right, what's next for you?
I have staying in the Edgar Wright ballpark. I have the Cornetto Trilogy. You move them around in any order, really. But probably if I'm going to reach for any one of them, it's going to be Hot Fuzz. I think that's the best of the bunch, even though they all make my list.
Yeah, so I'm embarrassed because I said Simon Pegg when I meant Edgar Wright, but yeah, for me it would be The World's End, just because I love my friends and I love alcohol. So and I hate cops. So for me, it would be The World's End. Defund the police, but yeah, I mean, they're all good movies. I don't think I've seen Hot Fuzz or Shaun of the Dead nearly as many times as I've seen The World's End. But,
I've seen Hot Fuzz. It might be the movie I've seen the most on my list. God damn, I love that movie.
What is it about it? Like, is it the absurdity of it, the timing? Because it's good timing. Like, I like the fact that his Simon Pegg character, maybe that's what I'm drawn to. He's just manic. He's like me. He wants everyone to be happy. He wants everyone to have fun. He wants to be the center of attention. I'm very Simon Pegg.
That's him in Shaun and World's End.
Yeah.
Yes.
But even in Hot Fuzz, he's like, I'm the hot shit cop. You guys all suck. He's the elitist, right? He's
the uptight by the book cop. I don't think he has feelings about things one way or the other in that regard.
Yeah.
No, it's great. Check it out.
Yeah, I love my favorite part of that movie, and like I said, I've only seen it once or twice, is when Simon Pegg is essentially trampolining over the fences, and then the bigger guy just punches through the fence.
And Nick Frost just runs through it. Yeah,
yeah. I feel like that's like that's like a story of my life. I feel like I've been in those scenes.
Yeah.
He
gets the call about the missing swan. That's your name. P.S. Staker. Piss Taker. Come on. Can you describe the swan? It's got a yellow beak, long neck. It's a swan. It's great.
So for those of us who haven't watched a lot of the Cornetto trilogy, other than the cast and filmmaker, does something tie them together? Is there an overarching storyline?
No.
Or is there a thematic thing?
No.
It's just the same group of friends made 3 movies.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You might be wondering why we call them the Andes, because they're all named Andrew. And talking to them is an uphill battle.
Yeah, I got to revisit those.
Good.
Man, The World's End is my jam. I should have put that on my list. I did not put that on my list. And it would bridge my list between action and comedy. Because there's some straight up good action kung fu in The World's End, as in Hot Fuzz. Shaun of the Dead, I don't remember. I don't think I've ever seen it all the way through. Or if I did, I was fucking hammered. I don't remember it.
Good stuff.
Story of my life. It's probably a Thursday night.
Yeah, yeah. There's probably more heart in Shaun than in the other 2, but they're so good. Edgar Wright is just a fucking master filmmaker. Those movies are just so. Even if you watched with the sound off and you didn't hear any of the jokes, they're so fucking fun to watch.
All right, well, let's go to one that might not have made your list, but I think we all think might be one of the best movies of the last decade. My best movie of the last decade is Fury Road. I think.
That's a good one. Yeah,
I had no expectations because I didn't love Mad Max the way a lot of people, either said they did or claimed they did. I feel like that's a lot of people who are like, I'm cool because I like Mad Max. But when this movie came out, I think it blew everyone away with how good it was. Like and so even when I went to see it, I was prepared to not enjoy it as much because everyone was telling me how much I should like it. So I'm like, you guys don't know anything because you guys love the fucking Book of Boba Fett. So I can't trust you bitches on anything, right? But then I went and saw it, and it exceeded what people told me I should have expected from it, and exceeded my personal interest in it. This might be the movie I've watched most in the last like 5 years. I mean, I've watched it before they even came out with a black and white version. I watched it on my TV with the color all the way saturated. Like, I watched a black and white version before it was cool. Like,
because Reddit told you to do that.
Yeah, whatever. It's almost a perfect movie. And people who said it didn't do enough to explain shit are people who don't know how shit works in real life, because nothing is ever explained. So all you need is action, baby.
What do you need that you didn't get?
Yeah. That movie gave you everything you need. I don't need a fucking motivation from this dude.
No, those are all people that are the Book of Boba Fett fans that need their hand held through everything, that need the characters to tell you exactly what you're seeing on screen.
Yeah, the fact that, people were like, oh, he barely talks. Yeah, you watch him. It's not a novel. I can understand if this was a novel, you'd be like, man, I don't know what the fuck was going on because it was 2 pages long.
Oh, but yeah, there's something happened, and so like he's traumatized, and that's the way he is. I have the information I need to know to enjoy this story that I'm looking at.
Yeah, I just love it. Tom Hardy's Max Rakowski. The fact that he's like a badass, but then also gets panicked, gets nervous, like he's fidgety. He's like, that's what I like. That is everything. That's storytelling to me. Like, he's not as badass as you think. He panics, he worries, but
yeah, it's not that he's a badass. I mean, that's not a character trait. That's an observation that somebody on the outside makes. He's just been doing a thing for so long that the only thing he's programmed for is to survive in spite of anything else that he might be feeling.
Yeah, it's just I think we talked about it when the movie came out, because this podcast has been going on for a while. But yeah, it is.
Some might say too long.
God, I hope it's not you. It would take something special for a movie to come out to replace how high I put this movie on my perch. It's up there with True Romance, which I fell in love with in like 1991. So it would take a lot to replace this movie as one of my favorite movies of all time. I think it's damn near perfect.
I am upset with myself for not putting it on my list.
We just talked about it last week. It came up in conversation last week.
It is one of those things that I don't think is just a movie. It's almost like an experience. It's sitting down and watching it is like going on a carnival ride or something.
Yeah, it's not a movie. Like, if I came across it, on like FXM or whatever, like if I was on Hulu surfing the channels, I would not start watching it in the middle. Like a Harry Potter movie, I'll start watching with like 20 minutes left or whatever. But I would never watch this movie. I would always have to restart it from the beginning. Like, if I saw it and I was like, oh shit, I should watch that, I'll go pull out the Blu-ray, or I'll search for it digitally. Like, I would never watch this halfway through.
I think it. Yeah, I can get that. I think more so than watching it not from the top. I would say you can't watch it on network TV because of the commercial breaks.
Yeah,
The movie is
all
all
tension.
about the relentless momentum.
Yes. Yeah. That's what I'm going to call my penis from now on. I'm going to get a tattoo. It says relentless momentum.
I keep
What's
trying
next?
to show it to the kid, and he just doesn't have any interest.
Oh,
It's like
it's
he's
not.
going to want to know what it's about.
Yeah, this movie is for.
Just fucking watch it.
This movie is for people who love good storytelling, and if you're not ready to learn good storytelling or witness good storytelling, I don't know what to tell
I'm
you.
going to have to Clockwork Orange him with Fury Road.
There you go. That's the way to go. What's next on your list?
This is another movie in the same vein as Fury Road, and that's Aliens, which is it's the same sort of construction. It's pedal to the metal, start to finish. You grab the viewer by the balls and you do not let go for 2 hours.
If I could show a screenshot, I swear to God, Aliens is right under Furry Road on my list.
I love Furry Road.
Yeah. So my note is, I'll just say my note and then we'll continue talking about your notes. My note is, I still stand by Alien being the better movie, but Aliens is the better watch.
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, man, maybe I just haven't seen Alien enough with my mature eyes. Maybe I saw it too young and just sort of wrote it off as not being as cool as Aliens, because it feels like Alien would be in my wheelhouse.
Well, to be fair, Alien is not as cool as Aliens. If you're using the word cool,
sure. But talking about like all the shit that I like when I talk about It Follows, I mean, I like the slow burn, atmospheric horror stuff.
Yeah.
And that's what that is, but I don't revere it the same way as a lot of other people do.
If you and I ever get to do a show again, you know, we'll go down, we'll do Con Bar. People will ignore us. You know, that's what they do.
Yeah.
And then we'll go up, we'll smoke a J, and we'll put on Alien. And we'll have a moment, a shared moment. But yeah, Aliens is it's a much more enjoyable watch. Like, because Alien, you're like, at least I'm like, oh shit, something's about to pop off. I know it's gonna happen. You know, you're on pins and needles. Where Aliens, they're fucking Marines and they're gonna fuck shit up. Like I can hear the sound effect of the fire, the weapon fire in Alien, that like that. I can hear it perfectly in my ear right now. Of those dudes just unloading. I can hear the sergeant telling them fucking
Bill Paxton.
It's so fucking good.
That was James Cameron at the height of his powers before he lost his mind.
Yeah,
you know, he had gotten that movie because Terminator was such a success.
Another great movie.
Yeah, Jesus Christ.
Yeah. Now we're waiting for a movie. Like I saw a thing today. Something was announced. I don't want to. It doesn't matter. Something was announced about Avatar, not the movies, but
man, I don't give a shit.
Tie-in shit. And I thought to myself, I don't think there's. Not only do I not give a shit about Avatar, I hate Avatar. Like it's a franchise that I can't stand and want nothing to do with. You know, luckily they want nothing to do with me either, so it's not a position I'm ever going to have to be in. But it's so George Miller made Fury Road in like his 50s or 60s after making Babe, and then James Cameron is now making Avatar movies. Like, come the fuck on, dude. James Cameron should be doing some hardcore sci-fi shit, not fucking 12 feet tall basketball playing fucking purple aliens, man. What the fuck? He let us down.
I don't know. What was Avatar? 2010? 2012?
Jesus Christ, 2008? I don't know. It was like a decade ago at least.
Now, is Avatar problematic?
Because you're
Is it just white savior fiction?
Probably. Oh, because when you say is it problematic, my immediate answer is like, yeah, it sucks. But you're talking about culturally, is it problematic? Yeah, we're gonna take some white people, Johnny Mnemonic them into your world,
Last of the Mohicans, Dances with Wolves.
Better. Yeah. Fuck that franchise and fuck that movie. It is so bad. It's so bad. Nothing makes me happier than the fact that an Avengers movie knocked that bitch down a peg or two. I don't know what the current thing is, but fuck Avatar. But yeah, I think we both agree Aliens is for me, it might be a top 5 movie for sure in any category. If I could only take 5 films onto a desert island, Aliens might be one of them.
Yeah.
Ahead of Alien, which I agree. Agreed. I think it's a better movie. Next for me is the last of my action movies, but it leans into comedy. It's what we call a crossover. And it's something that came to me this morning. I was thinking about what do I just love watching that I haven't seen in a bit, but I think hits on a lot of different levels. And it's Smoking Aces.
Rush Hour. Oh.
Smoking Aces, I think. Rush Hour. I think Smoking Aces hits on a lot of different levels. It's comedic. It's got great action. It's got a big cast of characters. Ben Affleck, Chris Pine, Common, one of the handsomest men on the planet, Common. Ryan Reynolds, slightly less handsome. Alicia Keys, Andy Garcia. My wife loves Andy Garcia. Ray Liotta. Chibs from Sons of Anarchy. Tommy Flanagan. Like, the cast is fucking nuts. It's just a fucking Smoking Aces is like it came out like 15 years after Pulp Fiction when they were finally able to do movies like Pulp Fiction again, and they're like, let's do Smoking Aces, and I'm like, I'm here for that shit.
That is an out of left field pull. I was not expecting that one.
Jeremy Piven.
Yeah. Oh, Jeremy Piven.
Oh, I think it's problematic now, but who gives a shit? Smoking Aces is fucking great.
Did you already say Alicia Keys?
I did. I mean, I think it's Taraji P. Henson. I think I butchered that name. At one point, unleashes a 50 cal from one high rise to another high rise. Like, that is good movies. I don't give a shit what you say. When a 5'6" woman or 5'5" woman unleashes a 50 cal to level a floor of a hotel, that's good fucking filmmaking.
Yeah.
I mean, Academy Award winner, I think. Joel Edgerton plays like a Russian fucking dumbskull in it. Like, it's fucking nuts. It's nuts. He has like a salad bowl haircut. Like, it is a fucking movie that is insane. Joe Carnahan.
No, okay. Now this is comfort movie zone.
Yes. Yeah, we are definitely getting into I want to see some fucked up shit, and this movie is going to give me fucked up shit. I mean, Chris Pine is like a trio of brothers who are like, don't wear shirts, and they like they look like they're cannibals. And this is after he did like Star Trek and shit. Like, this is not an unknown Chris Pine. Like, that's what I love about this movie. These actors who are known big name actors are just want to be in this insane fucking movie because it ticks all the boxes of why they wanted to make movies, right? Fun. Like, I like if I was going to be an actor to make movie, I want to make a fun movie. I want to be on set with fun people. I want to party while I'm there. I assume this was a fucking Bacchanal-esque party going on while they filmed this movie. Like, this movie is for actors who want to make movies and people who like to watch movies. Smoking Aces, I'm going to say the phrase again, ticks all those boxes. Yeah, I love it.
Tiggs all those boxes.
It's like a less violent Lucky Number 11 where it's on rewatch. You can just rewatch it. You know, it's good.
I don't know that one.
Whatever.
I thought you were going to go like whole 9 yards or something with action comedy.
What are your personal thoughts on Smoking Aces?
I don't think anything of it. I think maybe I've seen part of it.
Oh my God. It's a movie. It's a movie with a ton of known actors, and Ryan Reynolds is the straight guy. Think about that. Ryan Reynolds plays the normal dude.
Yeah. I'm happy you like it, though.
All right. So what's next on your list?
On my list, I don't know if this was immediately following Aliens in his oeuvre.
Abyss.
Oh no, but that was good too. Terminator 2.
Yeah, I have.
Oh man, the practical stunt extravaganza.
I don't know if I've told this story about my Terminator 2 story, but I went and saw it in a place where there's only one.
Oh, did you see Terminator 2 in public?
Yeah, it was only.
I was behind Terminator 2 in line at Starbucks once.
Okay, you go first.
I'm sorry.
What does that mean?
I don't know.
Oh, I thought like you got a.
Everybody's telling their Grant Morrison stories.
Oh, I thought like Robert Patrick was in front of you at a Starbucks once or something. No, I went to see it on base. So there was one theater. I mean, it's big. When you saw movies on Camp Butler in Okinawa, Japan, in the early '90s, it was a movie theater, but it was also like a theater. So it could seat like 1,500 people. So on opening night of a big movie, you were watching the movie with like 1,500 other people. And so when I went to go see it, the line was wrapped around, like it was wrapped around the giant building. So we were in line for like an hour and a half just to get in. And then when I got in, I think it was rated PG-13 or R.
I think it's R.
So maybe it was R. And so like they wouldn't let me in to see it. But then they had a phone right by the thing. And so you could call your parent. Because everything on a military base is you're just the property of your father or your mother if she's the one that's enlisted. So you're just the property of someone else. So I just called and the phone rang at home and my dad answered the phone and they had to get his verbal permission to let me see Terminator 2.
What a world. What a time.
But I saw that movie with like over 1,000 other people and everyone lost their shit. And I was young enough to where like I didn't really know that much about Terminator, so I was just along for the ride. I didn't have any preconceptions. It was a great experience.
This is 92, 91,
something like that.
So at this point, I probably definitely had not seen Terminator.
You didn't have your Kyle Reese experience.
Yeah, and I didn't have the context of the first movie to have the twist of the second movie really impact me that much. But goddamn, every scene in this movie is a gem, and I love every moment of it. I'm super impressed by like every action set piece. See, they're flying the fucking helicopter after them in the police van down the road. The helicopter, a real fucking helicopter, it's like flying under freeway overpasses and ramming into the back of this van. And when he's chasing them in the semi truck and they're in the pickup truck, and Arnold's obviously stunt double, but climbs out of the cab of the pickup truck, runs across the bed, runs up on top of the hood of the semi, and just starts shooting a machine gun into the cab of the semi truck. God damn, is that awesome! Fucking hell! And my like as much as my kid loves all of the Marvel movies and shit, he'll never know that there's such a visceral quality to all of the in-camera stuff, just knowing that it's being done by a person. Unbelievable.
Yeah, prior to Jurassic Park, if you watched a movie, you knew they were doing, there's no way they weren't doing that. And then after Jurassic Park, up until like literally like 5-6 years ago, you could tell they were on a green screen. Now you can't even tell they're on a green screen, but Yeah, there was something about watching action movies in the late 80s, early 90s to where you're like, oh, some crazy motherfucker like did that. Like that shit happened. It wasn't an effect, like that
Yeah.
shit was nuts.
They drove a helicopter or a motorcycle out of a third floor window and had a dude jump onto a helicopter. That was just a day they had while shooting.
Yeah, but that coward probably had a fucking parachute in case he missed.
Yeah, I am sure there were wires somewhere, but they didn't even paint out the wires, So the wire had to be so slight to be imperceptible on film.
Wait, are we talking about Cliffhanger now? No, yeah, like not that long ago, maybe like right before the pandemic. Yes, the January before the pandemic finally hit. So in other parts of the world, we were already in a pandemic. But January 2020, I want to say, I was in Albuquerque to do the world's worst comic convention. And across from the bar, we were trying to figure out like where to go next. So we're at the hotel bar, just having a drink to figure out what cool bar, because downtown Albuquerque, I don't want to hear shit. It's a cool spot. What bar are we going to go to? And across the bar from me is a disheveled Eddie Furlong, just on his phone. He's either on an app where you got to swipe some direction or just on Instagram, just moving his thumb, drinking. And I'm like, where the fuck did where did that go wrong? For like a decade, you were in the biggest movie of all time. Maybe even longer, maybe until Avatar, Terminator 2, or no, until Titanic. I think Terminator 2 was up there before Titanic. Maybe I'm wrong.
Oh, man, I don't know.
But it was one of the biggest movies of all time.
Yeah.
And you were in it. Not to mention Pet Sematary 2.
And then American History X.
Yeah. So now you're in the lobby of the hotel across from the convention center. And someone like me is chuckling saying, hey, there's Eddie Furlong over there. Instead of saying like, oh my God, that's Eddie like there's something happened, right? To where this motherfucker with two thumbs pointing at himself is either going, oh my God, that's Eddie Furlong, or hey, that's Eddie Furlong. It's a big career difference.
Yeah, that's unfortunate.
It is unfortunate because if Elijah Wood can have a career, why can't Eddie Furlong have a career? They're the same dude pretty much. They both are the same height as me, a little thinner.
Same guy.
A little thinner. Yeah. I haven't thought about T2 in a while, and it's probably something I would skip over if I came across it. But there's no doubt in saying at its time it was a seminal movie.
Yeah. And nobody does sequels better than James Cameron.
He made his career off of it.
Maybe there's hope for the Avatar sequel. Maybe he'll do something interesting. But the problem, whatever. This isn't an Avatar show. That's those are the only two Cameron films I put on my list.
Sometimes our podcast is long enough to be an Avatar show. So next on my list, I'm now switching to comedies. The rest of mine is either comedies or there's an animated movie in here that I guess technically could be an action comedy. But
Cool World.
Don't get me started. It's not movies that get me hard. It's not those kind of. That's not the list of movies we're doing.
No, so it's not Fern Gully.
It's not Five Goes West. 22 Jump Street. I will watch 22 Jump Street every single fucking time it comes across my feed, no matter where it is in the movie. If there's 2 minutes left, the ending of 22 Jump Street is better than 90% of comedies made today. The credits of 22 Jump Street might be a better movie than most movies. Just far superior, by the way, to 21 Jump Street, the movie, not the TV show. That's a different conversation. But 21 Jump Street, the comedy, it's all right. 22 Jump Street is like it's like 21 Jump Street. They learned how to paint in watercolors. And then 22 Jump Street, they're like, look, bitch, we learned oils. And they just did it's magic. 22 Jump Street is one of my favorite comedies of all time. Channing Tatum, what's his name? Jonah Hill. Ice Cube. Jesus Christ. Can that guy not do anything? He does everything amazing. Mr. Cube. It has the single greatest comedic scene I've ever seen ever in a movie, and it's when Ice Cube. Oh, spoiler alert! It's when Ice Cube finds out that Jonah Hill is fucking his daughter. It is the best scene in the history of fucking movies, and it's only funny because Ice Cube knows that someone who looks like Jonah Hill should not be fucking his daughter. That's why it's funny. Some people might say it's funny because he's older and she's still in college. That's not why it's funny. It's funny because someone who looks like Jonah Hill should not be fucking a hot chick that is Ice Cube's daughter. I love this movie so much. I love that Kurt Russell's son is in it. He's perfect in it. The white comedian at the end who beats the fuck out of Jonah Hill in a hotel room in Cancun. She's great. This movie's fucking awesome. I wish I could watch it right now.
I will put it on my list.
You've never seen it?
I've never seen either of them. No.
Oh my fucking god! Oh shit! Oh my god! I would say there's some jokes that carry over. So, see, in 21 Jump Street, there is one scene that it carries over. But the whole joke of why it's 22 Jump Street is because they had to move across the street. It's so fucking good, man. It is. Oh, fuck. It is that's such a good reason for the sequel to be called 22 Jump Street. So they had to move across the fucking street. Holy fucking shit. Oh. But yeah, the other Franco is in the first movie, and he makes a cameo in the second. And so it pays off, I guess, to watch the first one before the second one. And also the end of the first movie, 21 Jump Street, has a cameo from Dom DeLuise's son. Can't think of his name right now, but he was in the TV show.
Dom DeLuise Jr.?
And Johnny Depp. So they make spoiler alert again. They make a cameo in the first one. So there's a couple scenes in the first one that make it worthwhile, but the second one is it's comedic fucking gold. I swear to God. Okay, we can move on because you've never seen them, but I swear to God, put them on your fucking list, man.
All right.
Jesus Christ, I know what to get you for Christmas. What's next on your list?
Wait, I don't know. I guess this might be where my list starts running out of steam.
Yes, same, Z's, same.
From here, maybe we should just shotgun
Rapid
shit
fire.
To the end.
Sure. Yeah.
I've got Infinity War / Endgame. I think those two movies. Okay, there's a handful of movies that I define as infinitely rewatchable. It's many of the MCU movies I would put in that category. I'd put those two, Civil War. I really like Age of Ultron, even though other people shit on it.
I almost put Winter Soldier on my list, but I couldn't do it.
Ragnarok. Just movies that I think fit this category. Harry Potter from Azkaban on. All of those movies are infinitely rewatchable. Yeah.
Yeah, the only reason I didn't put either of those two, Endgame or Infinity War, on my list is there are parts of both movies that I wish I could skip, and I don't want to put a movie on my list. Like, I don't give a fuck about them going,
sure.
I don't give a fuck about them going back in time in Endgame. I hated.
I love it.
I hate that. It's cheating.
Oh, I love it.
Weak. It's fucking applesauce. It's the worst.
You're crazy.
There's no cinnamon either. Applesauce without cinnamon. Go fuck yourself. Infinity War, I guess, is a more complete movie, but the last act of Endgame, I think, might be MCU at its peak. It might be action cinema, superhero cinema at its peak. So it's hard to deny Endgame as like a movie. I just hate I hate time travel bullshit. Even though I love it in comics, I hate it on film.
Oh, I generally hate it, but I think Infinity Infinity War is
You got it.
super tight, and it's
That's
a
what she said.
crisp movie. It's it plows ahead. It's great, and Endgame is. I know we bag on fan service a lot, but
That's earned fan service, and
that's what I was gonna say. It earned every second of sort of meandering about and just being with people.
yes, yeah. So whatever cameos you're going to see in Spider-Man's 3 or Doctor Strange, those aren't earned.
The
Endgame is
Spider-Man's 3.
Endgame is earned. Uh, yeah, I don't have any MCU movies on me. Let me just run through another real quick one that I think we both agree is
Sure.
fantastic. The Incredibles. It's the best comic book
Oh,
movie,
wow.
I think. I think as a one and done, I think it's the best comic book movie.
Pixar didn't earn anything with that movie for you?
Well, they didn't earn Incredibles 2, which when I watched it, I loved it, but we did a podcast about it. It was essentially a rehash. But no, I mean, when my kids were little, this is a Pixar movie for me. Every other Pixar movie is Pixar movie for kids that adults like. This movie, I think, was made for the 30-year-old comic book fan. It wasn't made for the child. So most Pixar movies go the other way. It's made for kids, adults can love it. This movie was made for adults, kids can love it. Yeah, I still think the first Incredibles movie is spot on, maybe the best. You're never going to make a Fantastic Four movie better than that, and you're never going to make just a straight one and done superhero movie better than that. Where you introduce the characters, introduce the world, tell a story, wrap it up. It is a perfect superhero movie for me.
It's good.
It's the only animated movie on my list. It's the only animated movie I'll watch anytime it's on.
Cool.
Where's my super suit?
Woman.
That might have been racist. It's not as bad as what you just said. Okay, what's next on your list?
I've got The Jerk. I think The Jerk is a great comedy. And I don't know. It makes me feel good whenever I watch it. It's I don't know. It's right in my wheelhouse, comedy wise.
Yeah.
So I can't say anything bad about it. It's I don't know. It just thinking about it makes me smile. He hates these cans. Just Steve Martin was the precursor to Will Ferrell, where he can sell sincerity very well. So you just totally believe everything, and it's great. It's just great, fucking great. I still reference it all the time when talking about things. Like, all I need is this remote and this lamp.
All right. Yes, I agree. My next two movies fill that same void for me. As far as sorry, I got a little far away from the mic there. We'll fix that in post with new producer. I'm going to lump in Ferris Bueller's Day Off and Weird Science into movies. They're just comfort. It's like a warm fucking blanket. Both these movies. I mean, in reality, I should hate Ferris because he's a fucking snob. He uses his friends. He's kind of a shitty person. But it's just a great movie. That and Weird Science to me are just like great fucking like Weird Science is like, hey man, we're gonna get as fucking far out of what you think we're gonna do as possible. Like we're gonna have a shit monster at one point, and you're just gonna buy into it and love it. And by the way, that's the same time as Alien. So Bill Paxton went from like Alien to fucking Chet, like in the same year. But just those two movies those are like a bowl of soup when you're not feeling well, or just like a hug from your nana when you need a hug from your nana. They're great. I mean, you can put any John Hughes films in here, but those two don't have a lot of deeper meaning. It's just a fun, warm
and
movie.
I think that you may or may not agree with this take. It may be like the same effects like Ghostbusters has for me, is where you see it at a young enough age where superficially you're into it and you get like the lowbrow stuff, but the older you get, you keep finding new jokes because you have more life experience and your tastes change, and it's funny for different reasons.
Yeah, like Ferris Bueller, like he takes advantage of Cameron and what Cameron can offer as far as his friendship goes, and he takes advantage of it. And then as I get older, I realize like, oh, I'm Cameron. Like I'm so desperate to be a friend to somebody that I'll let people take advantage of me, or I'll let myself be taken advantage of to just have fun and hang out with these people. Yeah, like yes. And then Weird Science. I mean, who the fuck doesn't want to create a smoking hot woman in leotards plus nuclear weapons at the same fucking time in their Chicago suburb? Who doesn't want to be the fucking, Ferris Bueller? Who doesn't want to be the sausage king of Chicago? Like all of this shit is just it's so well like nuanced and well written. It's just so well done. Who doesn't want to turn their fucking asshole brother into a pile of shit? Like it's or just drive the hot girl home in a Ferrari because that's all she cares about, right? Like that movie, the end of Weird Science, she doesn't like you because you're you. I mean, kind of she does, but you're also still driving her home in a fucking Lamborghini. I think it was not a Ferrari, maybe a Ferrari. But yes, you could be the nicest guy in the world if you ask her to get into your fucking, Chevy Spirit. She's not gonna fucking want to hang out with you after that. So, yeah. Good movies. I have two left on my list, and they're both personal things. Do you have any personal things on your list?
I don't know. What do you mean by personal things?
I guess this whole list is personal, but not great movies, and not something I would like. If I was not something I would brag about to other people, but inside I love these movies for personal reasons, not for any other reason. Like they hit me at a time in my life. Those kind of reasons.
Now. Probably not. I have one that you would probably scoff at, but I don't feel like guilty about it or anything.
I'm the one that I have all time in the world.
Okay. Then I'm just going to give you my favorite Val Kilmer movie, which is Top Secret.
I don't think I've seen that.
Oh my God.
I think I confused that with the movie that had Mitch Gaylord where he's doing gymnastics in the forest.
Jim Cotta? Mitch Gaylord. What are you talking about? Gymnastics in the forest?
Yeah, I think Mitch Gaylord was in an action movie where he did gymnastics in a forest. He had a high bar mounted between two trees in like fucking Michigan or something. How do you not know this movie? Anyways, it's two completely different movies. Everyone loves Top Secret. I don't think I've ever watched Top Secret.
Oh, it's so good.
Obviously, he's a high school genius who's a spy. Is it like a real genius? Am I confusing them?
No, he's a pop star that what's the undercover agency for the Allies in World War II? I don't remember now, but they send a Nazi Germany to rescue a scientist, but he's like a 1950s Beach Boy type pop star in World War II. It doesn't make any fucking sense.
Yeah, it's like the Airplane of World War II movies. It's absurdist. It's satire.
It is. Yeah, he has a Beach Boys parody song called Skeet Shooting USA, where they're all just surfing and skeet shooting with shotguns. It's beautiful. I love this movie.
Okay. Yeah, I don't know if I've ever seen it. I watched the Val documentary, which I talked about a few episodes ago, and he talked about that. Like, I think he turned down a famous role to go shoot Top Secret. But good for him. Why not?
Yeah, so good. He made me happy.
Here's one of my personal ones. Empire Records, which I'm sure you've maybe
People
only
like
seen
this
once.
movie.
Well, I worked in a record store in the 90s, and it's one of those things when I talk to people who also worked in record stores, it's super close to what it was actually like to work in a record store. Like it's almost like it's almost like a drama documentary thing. Like we all knew the girl who was unhappy and shaved her head in the bathroom. We all had a Rex Manning day where some asshole came in to do an in-store that you didn't give a fuck about, but you had to cater to. Like it was a very real experience for people who worked in a record store.
Yeah, I'm sure that's your personal movie. That's the.
But also,
It always struck me as like a more mainstream, higher budget Clerks.
yeah, but it has more depth than Clerks.
Well, it's not hard.
Correct. It's got a Rory Cochrane, who I like. It's got a Steven Tyler's daughter, Liv Tyler. It's got a pre-Oscar winning Renee Zellweger in it.
Renee Zellweger.
It's got Ethan Embry being manic because that's his whole career. Yeah. He's manic. It's got Anthony LaPaglia playing drums. Get on it. It's got the girl from The Craft, Rachel something. Rachel Tenney. She's on Handmaid's Tale. Rachel something on Handmaid's Tale. She's in it. She's the girl who shaves her head in the bathroom. I wish I had better notes, but I don't. It just really hit a thing for me. And then I'll go into my last one, and if you have another one, we'll go to that.
No, go.
So spring break of my senior year, I might have talked about this on the pod before, but after 240 episodes, who knows? Spring break, senior year, a bunch of buddies of mine went and got essentially like a duplex of hotel rooms on the beach at this on-base beach resort. So it's for military members and their families, kind of like the bank. But everything is under my dad's name. So I had to rent the rooms under my dad's name. So basically, if you broke a window, my dad's getting charged for that window. So I'm sweating balls the whole time we're there, right? Because my dad got us these duplex of rooms. But they had a video. This is way before children. They had a video
for
spinner.
Kids.
Yes, but also you had to go rent videos, right? So you had to go rent VHSs from their little store if you want, because every room had every room had a VCR player. So we went to the thing to rent movies, and nothing looked good except So I Married an Axe Murderer. At that point, I hadn't seen it, but I knew who Mike Myers was.
Right.
So I rented How I Met an Axe Murderer. And for 48 straight hours that we were in that beach, those two beach rooms, that movie went from one VHS player to the next and just rewound and played for 48 straight hours while all we did was grill meat and drink beer. So I think over at 18, I was an 18-year-old the woman I loved was also in the same resort, just in a different part of the resort. So I was a lovelorn 18-year-old who must have drank between 50 and 80 beers in the course of 48 hours. But every time I went in the house on one or the other TV, So I Married an Axe Murderer was playing. So this might be the movie I've seen most of any movie ever in the history of I might have seen this movie like 50 times at this point in my life. And it's never not funny. When Mike Myers is playing his Scottish dad, yelling at him to get his giant fucking head out of the way of the TV.
Light a match.
His head, move. It's always fucking. This movie is always funny. It loses it towards the end when, again, LaPaglia, going back to the AL, LaPaglia is flying the plane. You kind of lose it at the end there when it becomes like a weird non-comedy. But for the first 2/3 of this movie, So I Married an Axe Murderer, it's obviously the height of Michael Myers' career as far as comedic value. But whenever I see it, it makes me think of my group of friends I've known since I was like 13. You know, we would all we push. It's so weird to think about now, but when we got into these hotel rooms, we pushed the two beds together, right? So that you could have like 8 people just sitting on a bed watching a movie, drinking, whatever. So the whole weekend was just like, it was almost like a clothed orgy of drinking and watching So I Married an Axe Murderer, because there were way more people. Like, you were just sharing beds with rando people, Like no one cared about pillows or sanitation. It was just like, hey man, is there a foot and a half there where I can pass out? Yeah, there is. Come sleep here. It was that. It was a Baclanol, to bring it back to the beginning of the podcast.
Lauren
of just,
Baclanol.
of just fun. I told myself I wasn't going to giggle this podcast because there's no podcast where one of the hosts laughed. One of the hosts laughed, and I thought, how annoying is that to hear the host laughed? It's fucking bullshit. I hate it.
Mission accomplished.
But I loved it. It's just a warm hug of friendship and innocence, even though we were just boozing and fucking horny as shit. It was still a generally innocent time in my life that I miss, and it was all the center point of this. Whenever I was super hammered and I can only see double, I could always focus on Michael Myers and So I Married an Axe Murderer. So that is my, not the best, not even close to whatever. That is my most heartfelt movie, a movie that I love to death. Did you have anything on your list? Is there something you wanted to say but you felt too embarrassed to say? Babe,
No.
Pig in the City?
No, it's nothing I felt too embarrassed to say.
But I'm done.
No.
So you take over the show, buddy.
All right, I'll just machine gun the last of them. Empire Strikes Back, Return of the Jedi, Last Crusade, Jurassic Park. While we were talking, I wrote down Moneyball because I think I don't know, it is one of those movies. It's replaced Patriot Games for me as the movie that when I see it like on, I just sit down and watch it.
Jesus Christ.
I don't know why. I cannot explain to you.
Air Force One.
What? Air Force One. I don't know. I think Patriot Games probably reminded me of my dad for some reason because he was into all that sort of shit.
Fucking percent. Yes.
Yeah.
I think your dad's Harrison Ford.
Yeah. So I wrote that down, and my last one on here is Django Unchained. Because I think it does all the things like all of the other Tarantino movies do, but I find this one to be intensely satisfying as a watch.
I got to rewatch it. It's got a lot of problematic scenes that makes it hard to rewatch for me.
That's the point of the scenes.
I guess that's true. Like, yeah. I mean, my favorite movie is hard to rewatch. So, yeah. Would that be your favorite Tarantino movie? Do we have 2 seconds to decide that? Let's see.
Ooh.
Mine would easily be one that he didn't direct.
So.
If I had to choose one that he directed, it'd probably be Kill Bill Part 1.
I think Inglourious Basterds is probably a close second. But yeah. Oh boy, the 2 Kill Bill movies. Man, it's tough.
He's definitely a better writer. Like my favorite. I think True Romance is better than any Tarantino movie.
Wow.
His Punch Up, his script doctoring in The Hunt for Red October is almost better than most of his movies. Like he's so much a better writer. Yeah, he's so much a better writer.
Hunt for Red October.
Yeah, he did script doctoring on Hunt for Red October.
Are you fucking kidding me?
There's a scene in Red October where they talk about a Silver Surfer comic. That is Quentin Tarantino.
Holy shit.
Yeah. 4 Rooms. He wrote some of that. I don't know. Maybe I'm talking.
We live in a world where Sean Connery spoke Quentin Tarantino dialogue.
Not Sean Connery.
Sam Neill.
Denzel Washington spoke Quentin Tarantino dialogue.
Whoa! Wait a minute. You mean Crimson Tide?
Fuck! I mean Crimson Tide. Yes.
Okay.
Him and
the lesser of the submarine movies.
Him and the Hispanic kid argued about a Silver Surfer issue. Yes. God damn it, Ryan. I know I should have. I
got really excited.
I should have stopped the pod way earlier.
Because that's another Jack Ryan movie that I could sit down and watch.
Yeah. Oh, that's the Alec Baldwin Jack Ryan movie. That's
Alec
right.
Baldwin, yes, with Tim Curry playing the Russian guy. Tim Curry and Sam Neill and Sean Connery all playing Russian sailors.
Well, they don't. Russia doesn't have their own actors. Not during that time.
Yeah. Yeah. It's like they all give Holly Berry level accent performances.
We should have this podcast should be called "You Lost the Thread," and an editor should have ended it like 4 minutes ago in the middle of a sentence. Like a third party should just decide when the podcast ends instead of me being an asshole.
Tangent the podcast.
I now have 3 open containers, and I'm drinking wine out of a bottle because I'm a pro.
I have exhausted my list.
Yeah, I don't have anything on my list that I didn't already mention. I thought all those like George Lucas movies and shit, they're kind of just standard. But for me, I mean, they're great. Don't get me wrong, but they're not. I don't give fuck, man. Jaws is great. I'm not going to throw on Jaws ahead of, whatever the fuck is up here. Like, I would throw on Fast 5 before I would throw on Jaws. And fuck you, listener. God. Fuck off, listener.
You mean fuck you, co-host?
No, I've seen fucking Jaws enough. I don't think I've seen Fast 5 enough.
That's my favorite movie of all time. That's number 1.
Is it infinitely rewatchable, though?
It is infinitely rewatchable.
I mean, you know what's going to happen.
It's a masterclass in acting and directing.
It's a lot of yelling and running.
Anyway, so that was the last episode of The Illustrious Gentleman.
My OCD will not allow us to end on episode 240, so we're going to round up to at least 300.
Our hologram cover episode.
Yeah. Okay. How was your Pepsi? Why Pepsi, by the way? Sometimes I'm a Coke guy, but occasionally I used to be a Coke guy. Now I'm a Coke Zero guy. I'm trying to get off the sauce. But when I was a Coke guy, there was a time in my life where I drank a 2-liter of Coke Classic a day. Mm-hmm. Maybe like a decade. It wasn't that long ago, like a decade ago. But occasionally I would pull the Pepsi out for that sweet hit. Mm-hmm. That little hit that you don't get from a Coke. Coke's a little tart, Pepsi's a little sweet.
Yes.
Why Pepsi?
It's what's here. I don't know.
Okay.
It's fine.
The best answer.
Why Pepsi? Because is Pepsi okay? Is the thing. Because I don't have any Dr. Pepper is why.
Okay. As the one guy, as the testicle carrying member of this podcast, the Walter Station. By the way, I shouldn't say that. You should be proud if you don't want to drink. When I'm the fucking problem. Walter Station. Walter Station. Walter Station, just be nice. American Amber Ale. It's good. Again, I love the message. I don't know what this does. Does anyone drink this beer and then tell their sad neighbor the number for the suicide prevention hotline?
No, that's the number you call after having too many of them.
But it doesn't fucking matter because they're at least trying something. They're doing something with their time, much like the Illustrious Gentleman podcast.
Something's better than nothing.
40. That's fucking right. It's an amber ale. I don't know what the fuck you want. I mean, I had a great one. Alaskan Amber is the best amber ale I've ever had because I thought I was going to die on a plane coming from Seattle to Phoenix, and they served Alaskan Amber, so I love it. But it's fine. It's good. It's great. I want to get back to this, so I'm going to rate this because last week I said I started talking about my drink and I didn't rate it.
That's what we do. We rate things.
So I'm going to rate
Mark Zuckerberg.
That's right. I'm going to give your list of movies 4.75 stars. I liked it. Out of 30. This beer out of 5 is a 4. It's great. Mental health is great. I need to spend more time on it. To donate today, text brew 4 hope, brew the number 4 HOPE to 44321. I give it a 4 as well. You wanna? I realize you're on your phone right now because that's professional podcast behavior after 240 episodes. Send us home, Scott, so that I can finish this bottle of wine I just opened. It's a Zinfandel, by the way, white Zinfandel, but it's pink. So I don't know. I got to research this now. Something else I got to do with my day. Why is white Zinfandel pink?
All right. Yeah. What are you still doing here? It's over. Go home.